Address the converse. When you go into organizations that hire you,
Yeah.
and you see some leaders that are well-intended, but they're poor. They're trying to get better. They're dropping the ball. They're not executing. Are there some commonalities? They're fine people character-wise. What are some common things that people might identify to say, "Gosh, I do that. I should stop doing that or change"?
The really scary part is I see them all in myself. And I'm not just,
Yeah.
this is not fake humility. You know I don't suffer
Yeah,
from that.
yeah.
It's this word with a D right there. Because it'll sound good. Like when you hear the four disciplines don't give you discipline, they demand them. And you hear the constructs and you're like, yes, yeah, I get it now. I can see it. It's like revelatory.
Is
but
it
then
just
you got to
saying
do
no?
it.
Is it?
Well, each one has its own problem. And so sometimes it's saying, yeah, it's saying no to good ideas in the first discipline.
So leaders who aren't executing well are typically doing what things?
They're saying yes to everything.
Saying yes to everything.
Their
own ideas or the ideas that come at them all the time?
Both. And I see this in myself, self-conscious and very aware of what other people think of them. There is some courage that is required to be a great leader. Every great
Because
operator.
yes creates affinity or respect
Or just not looking at the result, looking at how I'm seen. They're not the same thing. A leader can be very aware of their image in an organization and be doing a lot of the same thing as someone focused on the results, but they ultimately differ.
I see.
And when a leader is ultimately focused on the results, they're not always popular. But if you look at somebody that's got a great
Doesn't mean they
track
don't
record,
care about their brand or
No,
image.
no.
They're just laser focused on accomplishing this vital.
first, sometimes at the sake of
What else?
the weekly disciplines of moving off of urgent things. I don't know this sounds so, but it's like the universal DNA flaw that in the moment, I always want to do urgent. It could be a little thing, it could be opening an email, it could be a project. I will always, if I can push an important activity to do an urgent activity, I want to. And it's the discipline to override that conditioning in the brain and say, all right, I can't afford to, but I'm going to give 6 hours right here. I'm going to be that is so the saying no, the not being too concerned about your own image, and then the ability to just lock down on important things that are not urgent for significant periods of time. That's another one.
Chris,